and welcome back to GFF and Friends, the podcast. The podcast for jet setters.
Oh.
By coastal boys, if the coasts are LA and Seattle. Hello. Welcome back to the show. I am GFF, aka Todd, and joining me as always, except not for the next 2 weeks, is my teeny tiny, adorable, beautiful little husband, Rob.
Hello, I'm going into podcast hibernation.
Hi, Robbie, man. Yeah, you're going to have 2 weeks off. Well, I guess 3 weeks if you actually look at a calendar.
No, thank you.
But yeah, I was realizing, like, I'm hopefully going to record a ton of episodes in LA, but I don't have to release them all at once. So Rob will be back very shortly. He's only going to take a couple week break. You're only going to... If he doesn't go away, how are you going to miss him?
Right, and also you can go back and listen to old episodes. I'm largely a repeat of a lot of the same views and curmudgeonly, general sort of snippets, like sound bites, just sort of like, wow.
Well, and famously, Rob is the voice of Brain from Peaky and the Brain. So if you want to hear his voice, just go back and watch that show.
No one's ever told me that I have like a Orson Welles-ish quality, right? Isn't that who that is based on?
I think so. It's weird that we've never talked about your work on that show. We should keep it a secret, though. You want to be incognito.
Yeah.
But yeah, I 2 days away from flying to Los Angeles. My absolute favorite thing to do is travel. I'm so excited.
Well, seriously, like I love you, and I'm glad that I can support you and be with you while traveling. But I do have to say, traveling alone is so much easier, and just because
so
I don't,
easier.
because for me, it's like traveling is very much kind of like I get to be pretty passive and just sort of like let shit happen and just sort of get there. But with Todd, I have to be much more vigilant and much more on top of things, just because there are very specific elements of the plane that he needs.
Yeah, because you have little privilege.
Yeah.
You can curl up in a ball and sleep in a drawer. Meanwhile, I don't fit on any planes.
Although because of that, though, I do have that situation where it's almost like sitting where if it'd be like a shitty, older man sitting next to a child being like, well, you don't get the armrest because I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a little bit of that of like, well, I don't have the presence necessarily to sort of like stake my claim as well.
Yeah.
Even though I am a middle-aged man, I don't have that sort of quality about me on a plane. I still think I very much come off as like teen.
Yeah.
But it also could be because as soon as I sit down, I bust out my Switch.
Well, it's funny because we both have anxiety disorders. And especially when it comes to traveling, your anxiety, I feel like you're a little more anxious when you fly, and I'm a little more frustrated when I fly. So like, that's a terrible combination.
Yeah.
For the longest time, Rob and I, so here, let me start from the beginning. I've always considered Rob my emotional support animal. And so whenever we fly,
to my chagrin,
because he's little and can fit anywhere. So I would get an aisle seat and I would book him a middle seat, and we could just raise the armrest and be together and kind of spill into each other's spaces. Rub. Your name is Rub now.
Whatever, it's fine. Just don't call me late for dinner.
But Rob loves to sleep on my arm and cuddle up on my shoulder because he can do that. Again, little
also
privilege.
like on planes, I'm asleep before takeoff. Like,
yeah.
It's like in a car.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to sleep, you're going to sleep.
Yeah, if I'm not the one driving it, I'm probably going to be sleeping. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a shitty passenger in that way. Like, it's like, oh, my brain is like, oh, I don't have to work right now.
We've driven to Costco before and you've fallen asleep and I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. It's like my brain's like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything right now. Just power down. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Get some rest.
But Rob also prefers an aisle seat. I'm not going to sit in the middle. So for a little while, I started booking us aisle seats across from each other. But then, like, we would end up sitting next to strangers and people would touch us. And I was like, this is a terrible system. So now when we travel together, we're back to an aisle and a middle, and Rob gets the middle. Sorry, I love you so much, but we're just going to have to cash in on that body size.
Yeah, well, and it is funny because even like traveling alone, I always prefer an aisle because I like, in theory, easy access to a bathroom. Like, I don't care if I have to get up for people near me to get up. I don't care. I feel awful having anybody get up for me. And it's just a thing I would rather deal with myself. Excuse me, even if it means taking a drink cart to the elbow, which is probably my most frequent problem because I tend to sleep into the aisleway, which, you're just going to get hit by everybody. And I don't learn.
Like Drew Barrymore in Wedding Singer.
And like when I sleep heavy.
Or 50 First Dates.
So like I'm just going to get, just hit repeatedly by things.
Yeah. Well, also your body tends to go ragdoll and you'll just fall all over the place. So like your whole head, mouth open, arm in the aisle, like you'll just You sleep like a cat.
And so, but yeah, so I think I actually have started to appreciate the joy of a window. And it's not so much having window access, it's just that you have that little like sort of extra space to sort of like lean into.
Yeah.
And kind of catch you a little bit.
I only like the window in first class, not to sound rich because I'm not, but we only fly Alaskan. Alaskan has the cheapest first class on the planet.
Seriously, it's often like a $50 upgrade, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Especially like if I have to buy the legroom seats in coach, for an extra $50, you can just have first class and have food and booze.
Right,
like, just do it.
And aren't the legroom seats already like 25, like or 30? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's an upcharge for the legroom seats, and then if you just add another $50 to that, then you can be in first class. Also, my ticket was paid for with like points from the family. So
yeah,
but yeah, I like the window if I'm in first class because then I can like lean against it and like just kind of take up all that space on that side of the plane, but I can't do a window in a normal seat because like I have to put my legs somewhere. It's just really
unless you can get like the Southwest one that has the exit row with no seat in front of you.
But then the seat that you're in, the tray table is built into the armrest.
So it's a squeezer.
So it's a squeezer. You can't like diffuse underneath the armrest. It's a solid structural armrest, and it's so uncomfortable. I can't sit there anymore.
Well, and it's funny because I hate that seat because I kind of need something for my feet to go to. Like they need to at least do something.
Yeah, there's no footrest or anything.
Well, and
it's
also
just a
like,
chair.
And I'm a guy who like, I travel very device heavy. So it's like at one point I'm going to need to swap out my noise canceling headphones for my AirPods, or I'm going to switch out my Switch for my Kindle. Like there's going to be some sort of large electronic hokey pokey going on.
Interchange.
Like, yeah, there's a thing. Or all of a sudden Todd ends up with like something on his lap while I grab my backpack and swap the things out. He gets a new thing on his lap, like, or his tray table gets occupied. Yeah.
So yeah, just flying in general. And I'm in that point, like today's Sunday, I leave very early. Can I speak? No, what am I, Swedish?
Yeah, I was like, I think you're just like trying to go for a bit of an international vibe.
Rub and Uli.
You're just like, I'm the one that recently read Horror Store, that book in an IKEA knockoff.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're just naming products now.
Right? I feel like that's a Swedish sitcom.
Everyone makes fun of the Pooply kids.
I just hate them so much. But yeah, I'm in that zone of flight anxiety, which turns into anger because I'm so impatient. Like I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo or I'm old or what, but like I just when a plan is made, I want to start and execute that plan now. I have 2 days till I travel, but I just want to do it now and get it over with and like be there. Like, why have they not invented teleportation devices yet? This is ridiculous.
Well, and it is funny because like I can sense a little bit of that. Like yesterday, just one of your little informational bits about your trip that I need to be aware of. So it is valid information I need to have. Just kind of came out at a very strange time.
Oh, I told you we were leaving at 6:30?
Yeah, randomly. Walking through the kitchen, he's like, oh, by the way, we're leaving at 6:30 on Tuesday. And I'm like...
to give you plenty of time to adapt.
But it was like, hold on. Let me just go back, open up that part of my brain where I can file that away.
Yeah.
And then crush the resentment that I'm feeling about leaving the house at 6:30 in the morning to drive to the airport. I love you dearly. Because at least that's early enough. I can get home and actually get back to bed before I have to get up for work.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But like, it is funny because that is a trip that I'm used to doing now because that's when you leave, whenever you fly out. It was funny because like, it was just randomly, like, I think I was just like going downstairs to clean a record, doing fine. And he's like, by the way, air out of your tires in a couple of days. And I'm like, goody. Thanks.
Right? Like,
bye.
It's so funny how like so much of our traveling just has to do with each other. I book the earliest flight of the day so you can take me to the airport and not miss work because you refuse to miss work.
Which seriously, like
I could book a noon flight, but you won't do it.
But also though, like then you get there nice and early. I think it's kind of better for everybody.
Yeah.
But it is one of those just like, oh man. But like also that in my head, I'm also Rob from a decade ago where like there's a 6:30 in the morning now, kind of like there's that. But like now I am a regular, like 8:30 a.m. is just when I'm awake.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
I'll say you get up early all the time.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, and like Ruby has trained me. She's trained me well.
Yeah.
And
we used to sleep till noon in LA.
Right? Like, or later. I remember being like a 2 p.m.er on a Sunday. And so, Yeah, it very much is one of those where I'm like, I think I'm kind of living in old headspace where I'm like 6:30 a.m. I'm like, oh wait, no.
Well, and that's what I start doing. Again, today's Sunday. I don't leave till Tuesday, but I start dreading because of my OCD. I start thinking of every minute. I'm like, got to get up at 5:45, take a shower. I will have a stomach ache. Get ready for the day. Decide what to wear. Be hot and sweaty for at least 30 minutes because I shower sweat every day. So like, I don't dry off with a towel. I get water off my body with a towel, and then I sit in front of a fan for 30 minutes to dry my body. And then, 30-minute drive to the airport, going through security, sitting at the blah, blah, blah. I usually don't calm down with travel anxiety until I'm in my seat on the plane. That's usually when all the anxiety just goes away because I'm like, okay, cool. All I got left is to fly. And especially when I fly first class, again, not bragging, but it's a tall tax for sure. It's a tall, giant man tax. But when I fly first class, it's at least kind of a comfortable chair. I know that I'm going to get food. I'll probably get an alcoholic beverage. So usually once I'm on the plane and we're like boarded and about to take off, that's when my travel day anxiety goes away. Well, it's just that whole morning getting to it. Like I have a stomach ache right now thinking about it.
At least on this trip, you get to do a little bit of shopping that you want to do anyway. You get to buy some magazines. That you've been like trying to find in normal life. Which
I hope it's still there.
Buying magazines in normal life has gotten difficult.
Yeah.
Like I feel like whenever there's suddenly a magazine that you want to get, we realize how difficult it is to intentionally find a particular magazine.
We have 2 grocery stores in our neighborhood, and one is called the Metropolitan Market, and they just randomly took out their magazine section, which for almost no reason. They stacked some Duraflame fireplace logs there, but other than that, they didn't need the space.
It was a very low profile, like tight against the wall little magazine rack. And it's funny because they had one of my favorite jokes that we used to make all the time, because I love a one-off magazine that suddenly shows up as if it
almost
is
like a zine.
Yeah, as if it is a monthly regular thing when it's going to be like a special issue and it's like $12.
I wish we bought that.
We should have. There was a magazine called Women in Weed. And it was about women who work in the weed industry, I guess.
And it was a high quality, like glossy magazine.
Yeah. But every time we went there,
Women in Weed.
I was
and
like,
it was pink.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did we get this month's issue of Women in Weed?
Yeah.
Like, it was just this stupid gag that we made. And then all of a sudden, not just was that magazine gone, the entire fucking rack was gone.
Yeah, the magazine section disappeared.
That's how we noticed, because Women in Weed disappeared along with everything else.
And that's why we buy every joke we make. We talked about it before on the podcast, but like when we make a joke or especially a visual gag in a store, we always end up buying the thing we make a visual gag about, because if we don't, then we will forever regret it. Right? Even if we buy mugs and shit and we just put it in a cabinet and never talk about it again. But at least we have the mug that says everybody calls me or everyone I love calls me grandma.
My favorite people call me grandma.
My favorite people call me grandma. Yeah. At least we bought that mug. We never use it.
No.
And it's hidden in the cabinet. But at least we bought it, right? Because we made a really fun joke about it. Yeah.
Well,
and we never bought Women in Weed.
Right. It's such a bummer. But we are such unconventional users of things. At least like if we buy right now that mug has no point. But like, who knows? When you take up watercolors, maybe you'll use it to clean your brushes or something. Like we literally use a utensil crock from Le Creuset to
hold an umbrella
stand.
Yeah,
like
everything has a purpose. Right? Everything has a use if you really think about it.
Totally. Like just
and a future use too. See, this is a mental condition of our hoarding disorders that are genetic, but your brain can find a way. Oh. Your brain will figure out a reason to keep something.
Yeah, if there is not an immediate actual use, intended use for said product, I'm immediately rolling through ways in which I can turn that thing sideways or make it kind of different. And I'm not talking like DIY, I'm going to cover it with sparkles or some shit. But like, it's a thing of just like, well, how can I apply this in a way where maybe it's kind of cute, maybe it's kind of unexpected, or just like, how can it solve a problem of mine?
But anyway, back to the airport.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. 20 years ago, before phones, my favorite thing to do at the airport was buy magazines. Like, airports were where I bought magazines.
That was my place where I would buy expensive video game magazines that I would never normally justify, like the $12 ones that came with demo discs.
Yeah. Oh, they always had like a CD in the back.
Which of course you couldn't do anything with in the airport, but still it was exciting.
Yeah. But I subscribed to two magazines my whole life, Details and GQ. And that was like in the early 2000s, because they did, subscribe to GQ for a year for $1. And I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But then like People Magazine, Us Weekly, I would buy all the like rags when I got to the airport. But now because of phones, we don't need print media anymore. But Lady Gaga is on the cover of Vogue with a large spread of photos. And I'm like, I got to get that. I got it. That's a magazine I need to own.
Was there another one, or is it
there
just
is
that
another one, and I don't remember who it was. There's somebody else on a cover that I was like, oh, I need to get that because I love that person and I want that cover and all those pictures, but I don't know.
Well, hopefully you will see it at a Hudson News or something,
right? One of the
or the like
multiple Hudson Newses at
right.
SeaTac Airport. And that's the other thing. I don't know if you guys know, but SeaTac is notoriously one of the worst airports for security in the country. Now, I do have pre-check, and again, first class, not a brag.
And that's not to say it's bad security, or it's the security lets shit through.
No. It's just terribly run.
Yeah,
it's literally terribly run.
It's inefficient.
And it's one of the busiest airports in the country, and they have the smallest security section. So it just can take hours to funnel people through, but it can also take seconds. And so, like I said, I have pre-check, and I also have first class, which both have their own lines. But then, like anything in life, everyone else has caught up. So now TSA pre-check is just as long as any other line. First class is too. I heard Clear is like the longest line now because they're like, oh, I can just throw $150 a year at something and skip the lines. I'll do that. And then everyone just does that.
Even at least though, lots of people still, you get to make up for the fact that like, keep your shoes on, don't take the stuff out of your bag. Like that stuff is helpful. But that's speaking as somebody who travels with, a laptop and multiple electronic gizmos for the plane.
Yeah.
So for me, pre-check is so amazing.
We also discovered, which I thought was an urban legend, but it actually is true, that even if you have pre-check, you don't always get pre-check on your ticket.
You have to make sure it's on your boarding pass.
Because, in February when we were in Vegas,
it sucked.
I had pre-check and we went up to the line and they kicked Rob out and they were like, you don't have pre-check. And he's like, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? We're together. I bought these tickets together. I thought if like you had a pre-check in your party, everybody had it or something.
Well, and it used to be, at least when you booked your ticket, if you, like one person in the party had pre-check, it actually rippled through the entire party. Because I did that with several work travel.
I think it's only for children
things.
Now.
Well, I did it with several work things at the time. Like we traveled one guy with pre-check, and so as long as we traveled with him, we all got the benefits. But it was also on our boarding passes because all the tickets were booked at the same time. Our tickets were booked separately on that, and but I guess for some reason my TSA pre-check number didn't get applied to the ticket when it got booked.
Yeah, because that's the thing, we both have pre-check.
Yeah.
Like we have our own numbers.
And so because of that, though, it just fell through at the end. Didn't realize it because it wasn't on my boarding pass, and I got bounced. And of course, we had like a comical amount of shit going through scanners because we were leaving an event that gave us some very large goodie bags, and this stuff was not all packable, so we were carrying a lot of it. Basically, we maxed out our carry-on stuff between bag and lugging.
Yeah,
and
it looked like we had reusable grocery bags full of stuff.
Yeah, and so like now I'm like, and it. Pre-check would have made that so much easier for me, and instead it became like this doubly difficult thing, and I got to go wait in 2 lines instead by myself. It was just so stupid.
We did the stupid thing, which we don't do, and it kind of is like throwing us back into our old ways. We gambled with time, and we were like, we've got pre-check. Let's just kill an hour and go, let's sleep in an extra hour and then go to the airport.
Yeah, we decided to not.
We didn't do our 3 hours early thing that we always do.
Yeah, our super lame get there way early habits.
We're a 10-minute cab ride from the airport.
It'd be real easy.
We'll breeze through. We don't need to go so early.
Last year it was so easy.
Right? And then we got screwed with the line. It only added like 15 minutes. It wasn't that bad. But still, normally we always, especially because of me, I am a 3 hours early airport kind of gal. And so we were like, no. I'm going against my instincts. Let's relax. Let's chill. I don't want to sit in an airport for 3 hours. And then we got busted at pre-check.
Well, and of course, I'm surrounded in people in that line that are the equivalent of getting to the front of the line and then looking at the menu. Like I was just so many people could have done anything to prepare for this. Or like a lot of people, because like for being, all these people for being in their 70s, first time traveling, like had no idea what they needed to do.
Right.
And, and of course, like, and it's one of those where, I mean, I don't know. I guess some people don't open their ears unless somebody is literally yelling at their face. But like, I've heard the TSA person yell laptops and shoes in a separate bin.
Belts.
Like, I've heard them yell it because they've literally they're on a repeat where they're yelling it every 40 seconds. So like while one person is doing the bin loading, they've said it 2 or 3 times. I'm within earshot for 15 minutes. I've heard it. Like, please stop yelling.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally doing it. And I know that you're just on repeat, but like this is killing me.
Well, and the worst is when people try to lie and get through with stuff that it's clearly provable that they know how this works already. Like people with strollers, and the stroller has a previously flown tag. Like, you're clearly going home with this stroller and you didn't know you had to break it down and send it through the x-ray and put it on the belt. It's got a tag on it that you just flew here from Orlando.
Yeah.
We know that you've done this before.
You gambling on trying to sneak this thing through just added 10 minutes
I
to
can't
this
do
line for everyone.
You couldn't do it in Orlando.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, it's people's head literally are in the clouds at airports, and it's just awful.
Well, yeah, I wish there was an equivalent almost of like, well, hey, if you're willing to walk an extra couple of minutes, you just get to just move on through. The equivalent of like, if you're willing to park your car far away, you get a parking spot really fast. You just got to walk a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, because yeah, we are the people of like, we would sooner die than wait for a parking space. We'll walk. It's cool. Like, we are able-bodied.
We will park at the end of the parking lot and walk.
Yes.
It is fine.
Yeah. We are able-bodied men that can do this, and it's okay. We don't mind.
Yeah.
And, like, frankly, we'd rather be moving than wait behind anyone
ever
waiting for you to pull out of a parking spot.
When people, and it was terrible in Burbank, at the Costco in Burbank. It was the worst one of the worst gigantic parking lots on the planet.
Yeah.
Literally the biggest parking lot on the planet, but everyone pulls in, which is a stoplight, pulls into the parking lot and stops and put a blinker on while someone has a full cart of groceries unloading, and they're like, I'm just going to wait for this spot. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Have you been to Costco before? It's going to take 15 couple minutes just to unload the cart.
They're going to take the cart back.
Yeah. Like, seriously, we at that location, we only parked directly behind the building.
Yeah, like by the loading dock.
Yeah, the furthest back you can get, the longest possible walk you could have. We always, like, even when I go there with my mother, who was pushing 70 at the time, we always parked there. It was just understood.
Yeah.
Because why would you park anywhere else?
The only time that technique of stopping and putting your blinker on, waiting for a parking space, is acceptable is when it's like Christmas Eve and the mall is jam-packed.
Yeah.
Or it's Black Friday and everyone's shopping. Like,
if you're at the Grove during Christmas, I get it.
If you know that you're about to get a space, you take it because they're literally all gone.
Oh, yeah. I've circled the Grove parking structure for 45 minutes and then left without finding a place to park.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take it anymore. And I had to leave. They tried to charge me, by the way, for that, which, like,
now they have a 10-minute window.
Well, I mean, I was there for 45 minutes circling, and I never found a spot. And like, that's why I was trying to leave, and I drove a beater car at this point.
Was that before you lived across the street?
I think I lived in the neighborhood, but at that point I was still driving like a 1990 Integra. So this thing was like, it was 10 years old when I got it, and I've been driving it. I drove that car for almost 11 years. So this car is probably like 16, 17 years old, survived me being a teenager and me driving in LA. And like, I literally got there and the guy was like, it'll be $3. And I was like, I never parked. You can look at the security footage. I never stopped. And he's like, you were here for that long though. So it's gonna be that. And I was like, if you don't raise that arm, I'm going to drive through it right now because I don't care. And the guy was just like, have a nice day. As he raised the arm, I've never stared somebody in the face and threatened them before, but I was just like, dude.
Well, you're already frustrated because you'd never found a parking space.
And at that point, I think I was like 21. I was a kid. And I was just like, and I literally was there during Christmas season to stop. I think I literally needed like an adapter for my iPod. And I was just like, you know what? I have time. Let me just do this. I thought it'd be a quick in and out because I was getting one little thing. And no, it was an hour of frustration. Like, I was so mad.
Looking for parking is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Well, and then like when we lived across the street from the Grove, we never drove there. We always walked because seriously, their parking structure, it's amazing how quickly that thing fills up.
Also, before I even met you, I used to go there all the time. I would just park in the farmer's market parking lot because it's pretty easy to get a
Chipotle validation
to cover the parking.
Yeah.
And make it free because it's easier to I'll probably do that next week while I'm there. I'll probably just park in the farmer's market and get validated somewhere.
You can get a donut inside the farmer's market and get a stamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or a Starbucks.
But yeah, I think that's another reason why I have such parking anxiety when people ever invite me to do plans, to have dinner or something. The first question I always ask is, what's parking like? Because that can change the whole night, you know, especially depending on what neighborhood it's in. It's like, oh, there's notoriously never parking there. Why would I go there?
Yeah, we need to embrace the lift more whenever we're going out to like dinner.
But then I always do that math too, that I'm like, do I want to sit in a car for 30 minutes two ways with a stranger and pay upwards of $100?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's just stay home. That's what we do. We just stay home and enjoy our house.
It's a good solution. We're enjoying our rent.
We have parking. We have Ruby. We have snacks.
Right. We have lots of movies.
Yeah. There's no real reason to go out anymore. Because, like I said, we play out the entire evening in our heads, and then we're like,
ugh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm already tired.
Yeah, I haven't gone out.
Anything.
I'm tired. Well, and it's like, and yeah, now it's getting colder. It's getting cozy. Like we're getting into wrap yourself with a blanket, get some reading done.
Yeah.
Season.
I just got a new Zelda game for the Switch.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I just threaded about this, but I am leaving the low 50s of Seattle to go to the low 90s of Los Angeles for 2 weeks, and it's a hate crime I've perpetuated on myself.
Well, womp, womp.
Perpetrated, not perpetuated.
But enjoy. You get to keep wearing shorts.
I get to keep wearing shorts and t-shirts. I get to enjoy air conditioning because your parents' house is deliciously air conditioned.
Yeah, like honestly, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm excited. Plus, like, I think I might get to go down to Disneyland and see some Halloween decor, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, and I will keep this house adequately toasty.
Yeah, we did. We turned on the heat yesterday.
Yeah.
I love that we turned on the heat yesterday here, and when I get to LA, I'll be cranking the AC.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure my folks are probably cranking the AC anyway.
My body's going to explode like a glass out of the dishwasher. Temperature change.
Gah!
But, all right. Well, having said all that, I think it's time to move on to our final segment, which is What's Your Order? What's your order? I believe it's my turn to pick.
I think it's mine, actually.
Oh, did you pick cake? I thought you picked cake.
Maybe. Go for it, then.
It does not matter.
Well, it'll be my last one for a while.
I was going to say, yeah, you should pick. Also, clearly, I'm not bringing this box to LA, so I need to figure out what I'm going to.
Precious cargo.
But yeah, let's. We have our trusty handbook for the recently deceased, filled with food, holidays, restaurants, anything you could. Rob,
sorry.
Food, holidays, restaurants, anything you could talk about food, and yeah, I think Rob is going to go ahead and pick it out because it will be his last. For a couple
already
weeks.
did. But I was going to say, like, you should pick a vessel at my mom's house.
I will.
That is appropriate. Like,
I'm going to.
Okay. Like, I have pottery around the house that I made when I was in
It doesn't have a lid, but it is a beautiful bowl.
Right? I mean, you can't, it's just a little folded piece of paper.
I do kind of want to steal it. But all right. Well, Rob, what is today's What's Your Order topic?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's just chocolate.
It's just chocolate. Oh, God, what was her name?
She wore orange wigs.
Anyway, it's from Drag Race, if you're not familiar, but there was a season where they all got candy bars, and one of them was a golden candy bar that would save them from elimination.
Which the golden candy bar ended up saving the eventual winner, who was from Seattle.
She did not win.
No, didn't she?
She won on the golden candy bar, but...
Oh, yes. Wait, did Bosco not win?
No.
Oh, I thought she did. She made it to the finale, though.
Willow Pill won.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but
Bosco should have won. My bad.
Anyway, her name was like Dries Van Noten, but it's not that. But it was like kind of multiple names.
Sorry.
Amelia Bedelia.
And it's amazing. All the seasons are blurring together. I'm like, oh, she won? Didn't win? What?
They're overlapping. We're in, what, 3 right now? 2?
Well, seriously, at this point, we typically have 2 shows at once now. Like, we have to juggle, like, season-wise, I feel like, of that show. Anyway, sorry. Continuing on. It's just chocolate.
It's just chocolate. Seriously, her name was like Brie something. Anyway, it's just chocolate, and I'm very excited about this because I have a lot of chocolate opinions, as do you.
I do.
My favorite chocolate opinion of yours is that you crave it at a grocery store and never eat it at home, but we always stock up on Rob chocolate.
Yeah.
We also have very different chocolate cravings and opinions. So
we do.
We are a house divided on many things, as you know, we've talked about several times.
We stay in our lanes often when it comes to chocolate.
But obviously, I prefer milk chocolate because I like sweet, creamy, delicious chocolate. I prefer English chocolate over American chocolate. My favorite candy bar, just pure chocolate candy bar on the planet, is a Galaxy bar from England. Galaxy chocolate is the best chocolate. It has the best mouthfeel, the best flavor.
Is it crazy milky?
Not crazy milky. It's creamy though. And then right after that is Cadbury, which is like butter, like literally tastes like butter.
Yeah.
It's delicious, but Cadbury is like the richest, milkiest chocolate ever. Which it just tastes like pure dairy.
I feel like the closest that American milk chocolate gets to Cadbury is like a symphony bar.
Yeah, Symphony and Dove are like the American equivalents of English chocolate.
Yeah.
But I also love a Hershey bar, which is, it almost feels like synthetic because it's so waxy.
Yeah. Well, and on that, like Hershey, absolutely, like they're a must-have for a s'more. I don't know if I can have them on their own. I think they might be too sweet on their own and too waxy. But like,
see, it's funny. I
for
think
a
they're
s'more,
like
they're
semi-sweet chocolate chip. Like I don't think Hershey bars are sweet.
Oh man, I find them too sweet.
Yeah, Hershey bars are closer to dark chocolate than milk chocolate for me, just in flavor. They also have like a, I would say it's like a spicy flavor, but they also just have a more concentrated chocolate in the nose flavor. You know, which semi-sweet and dark chocolate tastes like.
What's weird? Hershey's
bitter. It's a bitterness.
Hershey's milk chocolate is almost like the Kraft single of chocolate. Like there's
very
something
processed.
But yeah, there's something so processed and like and there's a very distinct flavor to it, but I don't know if it's a natural flavor at all. Like, but it's there.
Right.
Like I don't know, it feels like but it's the same thing of like, but they melt super uniquely and like they're very perfect for their very specific uses.
Yeah. But I my number one chocolate is milk chocolate, and then I also like white chocolate from time to time. Like I will crave it, but white chocolate is sugared butter. Like it's just solid butter with sugar in it. That's what it tastes like.
And I've never developed a taste for white chocolate, but I adore a Hershey's cookies and cream bar,
which is just white chocolate with Oreos in it.
I know, and I love them. I love them so much. But like, I never developed a taste for white chocolate on its own.
Yeah.
But like in that capacity, though, like when I was a kid, we bought a case of that from Costco, and I ate a case of those, and I kind of burned myself out on them for several months.
Like you do.
Yeah, but holy shit, that was delicious.
Yeah.
The ride was a delicious one until it wasn't.
It's funny. I kind of crave white chocolate in the spring as an Easter candy. I think that's when I got it as a kid. Like we would get white chocolate bunnies from our grandma.
Oh, and often white chocolate gets dyed to be like kind of Easter pastel colored. And
Yeah,
that's
if you're
white
doing
chocolate
a
too,
chocolate
right?
with color in it, it's
Yeah.
usually a dyed white chocolate.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It feels springy.
But it can get, white chocolate can go from like enjoyable and delicious instantly into too much and like sickly. You know, like I could be in the middle of a white chocolate candy bar and be like, I don't want this anymore.
We're done now.
It's too rich. And then I will dabble in dark chocolate occasionally. I definitely want like semi-sweet dark chocolate chips and cookies because I feel like cookies are so sweet. They need that bitter chocolate to counteract the sweetness. I don't like milk chocolate chips. I like dark chocolate chips, but I rarely will indulge in just like a solid dark chocolate bar. I won't actually. I won't eat it.
Well, and because it's funny because I keep a lot of dark chocolate in the house, and I've experimented with what percentage I can handle, and I've gone as high as I think 93%, which is too much. It was just the most chalky, dry
Baker's chocolate.
I mean, yeah, it was the most unpleasant experience I've had in a while.
Yeah.
But like 85, oh my god, spectacular! If it's done by a good company, like or if it has like a little bit of sea salt or whatever, like you can do it really right.
Yeah.
But without going into like baking chocolate bitter territory. But like I find that the one, I mean, similar to how you mentioned Dove is like kind of the closest to Cadbury when it comes to milk chocolate. Their dark chocolate is damn near milky sweet. It's like,
very sweet,
and their dark is it melts well. Like they have a good dark chocolate, like a dark chocolate promise from Dove. you will have those if nothing else is here because at least they're kind of bridging
if I'm
the gap.
like craving chocolate and there's nothing in the house except for Rob's dark chocolate stash, I will eat it. But and if I'm like dieting because I don't know why I feel like I saw one time in a health video, but someone said like dark chocolate is good for you when you're dieting. So I'd be dieting and be like, well, at least I can have 2 Dove promises.
Well, I feel like at least dark chocolate is probably better for you than milk chocolate. I don't know if it's good for you, but I would feel like it's probably better in the splitting hairs of it has antioxidants.
Yeah, and
or
you get
something like
those
that.
delicious wine mom quotes inside
Right.
today is your day, Kathy, Michigan.
Right? Oh, those Dove promises, they mean so nothing, but I love them.
Yeah. I would love to meet one of these women because they always attribute it to a woman's first name and her location.
Who wrote these in?
Right? Where's Elizabeth from Georgia? I want to meet her. And why? How did she get a quote in a promises wrapper?
Seriously, what contest did she win?
I don't want to get too much into candy bars, but I do love a candy bar.
Me too.
I'm currently on a candy bar kick because I bought that 18-pack or 24-pack or whatever.
Well, and I'm excited about 2 kinds in it. I've eaten one of them, and the other one I'm like holding off on, but I'm excited about it eventually.
I will leave some behind for you.
That's the thing. It's like I'm the person like, oh yeah, I love candy. in theory.
On your terms.
Yeah, I don't want it right now. Like, it's very much a when I need candy, I will get it. And when I don't, why the hell is it here?
Yeah, get it out of my face.
Right? Like, it's something, yeah.
But yeah, the 4-pack includes Three Musketeers, Milky Ways, Snickers, and Twix. You like Twix and Snickers.
Yeah, those other two don't exist to me.
I like all of them.
I don't even know what's in a Milky Way, actually. Oh, Milky Way
It's
is basically
nougat and caramel.
It's
Yeah.
Three Musketeers with caramel.
Yeah, and I love nougat. Like, I seriously dream, I threaded about this the other day too. I want a loaf of bread sized, or like even a bread box sized Three Musketeers that I can just like cut the top off and eat the nougat out with a spoon. I love nougat so much. I don't know if it's a texture thing. I don't know what it is. I love pillowy things like marshmallows, and nougat is just so delicious. And yeah,
Nougat.
Milky Way is delicious.
Nougat is missing, I think, structure and it's missing something for me. Like, but I'm a big fan of like a whatchamacallit that has a little bit more of like a rice
Bits of
element.
stuff.
Yeah, a little bit more of a little bit more structure.
I love a Nestle Crunch bar. Sometimes I'll go on like crunch kicks
Well-
because they're super thin. There's like that thinness to them.
As a kid, I always ate those refrigerated.
Oh,
Like, I would put them in the fridge and then I would break them into a bowl, so I had like shards of Nestle Crunch. It was like the best. I don't know why. It was like the best way to have that growing up.
I've been getting Bunch of Crunch at the movie theater. All the movies we've been seeing lately, I always get a Bunch of Crunch. I love Bunch of Crunch.
Well, I'm a Butterfinger man, and I like, dare I say it, kind of a stale Butterfinger, because I like the inside piece to be really hard.
And like turns into like taffy.
And I hate to say it, I like picking it out of my teeth for the rest of the day. I like, kind of tonguing my teeth and getting the Butterfinger bits out. They're out by the end of the movie because I can't stop. But like, I love a Butterfinger. And that's a milk chocolate Nestle product.
Mm-hmm. What else? In England, a Milky Way is called a Mars bar, but we also have a Mars bar. I just don't know what's in it.
Right. What was it? I was thinking. We recently were talking about this. I know that Twix has made variants where they've done a peanut butter Twix, they've done a cookies and cream Twix,
Cookie dough.
Yeah. I forgot about the speculoos cookie dough kind of.
No, there's a chocolate chip cookie dough.
I thought they did like the cookie butter one. Okay, so yeah, they've done variants
where the cookie is cookie dough.
And like Snickers has done Snickers almond, Snickers dark. They've done Snickers peanut butter. Like, they've done variants, but what I want is a true Twix Snickers collab.
Seriously.
The Twix or the Snickers or something, Snicks.
What do you want to replace in which candy bar?
I want the cookie long structure
of a
Twix, but I think there's room in there for peanuts under the chocolate. Maybe it'd be a little bit more of a bumpy Twix.
So you want to replace the nougat of a Snickers with the Twix cookie. That's it.
I think so.
Yeah,
but like
that would be delicious.
But I also want it like the long finger. Like, I don't want
a solid bar, not two little bars.
No, 2 little bars is what I want.
Oh, okay.
I want it Twix style. So I want it to basically look like a Twix, but
so just add peanuts to a Twix.
Kinda, yeah. But I think it would be delicious, and I almost feel
I'm surprised they haven't done that.
But like, I almost feel like the Twix should be like the corgi of the cookie world, in that basically whatever it mixes with, well, it always looks like a Twix, but but it has that element of something added to it, because like, any corgi, no matter what breed it mixes with, it just looks like a corgi wearing a costume.
So you want to make a Snickerdoodle? Oh my God, Snickerdoodle!
Oh my God. Anyway, so like, that was what I was just recently thinking, where I was
you
like,
want to make a Twix doodle.
Like, the Twix is such a fabulous vehicle, and it's such a cool concept, and more things should have that level of cookie crunch factor, and like, swap out what flavor cookie it is to better.
Yeah, why
fit
haven't
that.
they done it? Maybe they have.
Maybe the cookies and cream one is like a chocolate
an
cookie.
Oreo cookie.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably what the cookies and cream one is. But like, seriously, I feel like I haven't done my research on this, but I feel like Twix, especially with the level of like Oreo, how it's kind of camouflaging into every flavor at this point. Why has Twix not started donning cosplay?
Yeah.
Of other
Everything's
flavors?
doing it now. Pop-Tarts,
Right?
Lay's, Funyuns.
We've seen lots of crossovers. So yeah, I think that's
everything
next.
like branches out their flavors and combines flavors now. Coca-Cola Oreos.
Well, I feel like Reese's has been the one that's been the most adventurous lately, by just like, what can we stuff into these cups?
I love I think there's only been one Reese's creation that I hated, which was the brownie.
The bar thing. Oh, it was gross.
It was almost like a Little Debbie Cosmic Brownie, but the brownie was even stiffer. and then there wasn't enough peanut butter on it, and there was like no chocolate. I don't know. It was bad.
It was a big miss, and honestly, I don't think I've ever seen them again. I think
they didn't work.
Yeah, I think they were as well received as they should have been.
Yeah, but my favorite Reese's is the potato chip cup.
Oh, so good!
It's so good, and I actually I wouldn't kick it out of bed, but I didn't like the caramel one. Like I don't need caramel with peanut butter. It's not a flavor combination that works for me.
It made it really sweet.
Yeah, but the potato chip, or there's a pretzel one. The pretzel cup. Oh my god, I love a sweet and salty, especially with peanut butter.
Well, and the one with the Reese's Pieces is also kind of like whatever. It's fine. Like it's cute. It's honestly it's like an M&M cookie. It looks fun. Not that great to eat compared to a regular chocolate chip cookie, but like they're very cute. I get why you make them. They're pretty.
The other thing is that I've never liked. I don't like orange. Or even like berry. I don't like raspberry chocolate. I don't like orange and chocolate, which I do not like a Terry's chocolate orange. But it's so funny because you do. Although I've never seen you eat one because
there's always one in the pantry that I'm like, I should have that.
I don't think you've ever bought one, but your mom always gets you one for like Easter or Christmas or something. We almost always have a Terry's chocolate orange in our pantry, and I have yet to ever see you eat one.
Well, it's funny because like occasionally I'm like, I should get one of those, which I feel like now I have to go to Cost Plus and grab one. Because I like a Terry's dark chocolate orange, not the milk. The dark chocolate is better.
They're just not flavors I want.
I think you might dig it when like they're mixed. It's actually pretty good. The milk chocolate is good in the lime version, but also
I didn't know they did lime.
They do a milk chocolate lime. I think they do a dark chocolate lime, and I do think I prefer it. But the milk chocolate lime is more available. And I tried doing the milk chocolate raspberry, and like one wedge of it was delicious, and then I was done. Like that was a great experience.
Yeah, I cannot like eat an entire thing of it in chocolate. I also don't like chocolate covered strawberries. Like I'll eat them if they're like super fancy, like if they're like Godiva or like a fancy chocolate store. Yeah. I'll do a chocolate covered strawberry, but it's never something I crave. They're just weird textures together that I don't want.
Yeah, I don't want fruit in my chocolate. That's certainly not a thing, but I don't mind like a fruit essence.
Yeah.
You know, kind of but it has to be very specific because even then, yeah, like the milk chocolate orange. Not my vibe.
Yeah. I'm a creamy, peanut buttery, caramely chocolate combination kind of person.
Well, okay, so I feel like we've hit like some of the big stuff, but like we have to start talking about like maybe some hot takes here because I know that you have a hot take no-go for chocolate, as do I. One of my no-goes, and this is a thing that a lot of people do not understand. I personally do not like the combination of mint and chocolate. I understand it. I do. Like, I think I could probably still eat a peppermint patty if I had to. But honestly, those are still too much for me. Even the little ones are too much.
The only time I like it is like maybe a peppermint patty, or I definitely love Junior Mints because I love the texture inside of Junior Mint.
Or like an after dinner mint.
Yeah, like an Andes mint.
Yeah,
I love those. But then, like the main thing is I love mint chocolate chip ice cream,
which is
it's
funny.
One of my go-tos.
And that is the thing that like man, if you surprise me with that ice cream, I'm like going to be so shocked and upset. Like I think that's actually
it's just how it imprints on your brain. Like your brain probably thinks mint is toothpaste, and even if you're not in that mindset, your brain is like, I'm eating toothpaste. This is wrong. We can't do this.
Right. Well, I don't know. I just don't like the mint chocolate combo. And also I like my ice cream to be, I like chewy. Chocolate. I like chewy chocolate, and or vanilla with chocolate syrup. Like
you get dark chocolate ice cream.
Yeah. Or coffee. But I'm very much a chocolate, I want the actual, substance of the ice cream to be chocolate, not what's suspended in it. And so I think mint is just a weird vehicle for that. But like, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of mint and chocolate together. I do understand it though. But like chocolate and peanut butter though, that is like
natural.
Heaven. Like that is meant to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I know a lot of people don't like that either. But yeah, I'm a chocolate peanut butter guy, not a mint chocolate guy. Yeah. And you don't like chocolate that is warm. Right?
I don't like chocolate. I don't like warm chocolate cake or warm chocolate chip cookies,
and that's crazy to me.
Relating back to a food poisoning situation, but
that makes more sense.
The like acidity of warm chocolate chips, I can't do. I don't like it. It's just not a flavor I enjoy. I hate warm cookies unless there's like a giant scoop of ice cream on top, like
Pizookie style.
Yeah, actively cooling it off.
Yeah.
But warm cookies I'm starting to get a little sick just thinking about it. I hate warm cookies.
Because I love a warm, gooey chocolate chip cookie, and I love a lava cake. Love
lava cake is good. I will eat a lava cake.
And also like hot fudge. I don't know what makes it different than any other stuff, but I fucking love hot fudge.
Again, it has to be with ice cream actively cooling it down.
But yeah, I don't just eat hot fudge by the spoonful, but like I love it in the right capacity.
And I love hot cocoa. I will drink hot cocoa in the winter. It's my favorite, especially with like Baileys or whiskey.
Oh, and seriously, and I go through such a hot chocolate fix, like, or a little like kick during winter. Like I'll go through like a 2-week period of like we're having hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's funny. Speaking of your food craving obsessions for 2 weeks, the one that actually lasted is popcorn. Like we've talked about it before. We got really into popcorn during the pandemic, and it was we were doing it like 3 or 4 nights a week. But now we still do it like 2 nights a week for 4 years. Like we have kept up on popcorn.
Yeah, the only time we stopped was when we lived in the same complex as a movie theater, and I would go to the movie theater multiple times a week and just buy popcorn and then leave.
But yeah, the Rob intense craving that actually lasts and stayed in our lives is popcorn. But everything else literally lasts 2 weeks, and then you never talk about it again.
But popcorn has also been a constant my entire life.
Yeah.
Like even before we were making it, we were going to multiple movies a week and getting popcorn, and like. And it's funny because, I like a little bit of Rob,
lore?
Yeah. I was like trying to think of the phrase from
origin story?
Yeah. I was trying to think of the phrase from Inside Out, like core memory, but it's much more of a lore thing.
Canon event?
Yeah. I grew up kind of with my grandmother, in a very motherly role. Like she was my day-to-day kind of caregiver. Like I lived with my parents, or I lived with my mom, but like my mom worked all the time. So my grandmother, like we spent all of our time together. And my grandmother and I would go to like 3 or 4 movies a week. Like we went to a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And so it's another one of those, like I grew up with so many memories in a movie theater with like a bucket of popcorn in my lap. Like just like that. I think that's actually what gave me my taste for movies that I have.
Yeah.
Because like there were days my grandmother and I would see 3 in a row. Like not theater hopping. We would literally just plan our day and buy 3 tickets, or 2 tickets each for 3 movies. Yeah. And so, yeah, like I have a high endurance for movie theater going, or I did at least.
Yeah.
But a high appetite for popcorn.
I just can't eat it anymore. Even if I eat like 2 handfuls of it, I'm sick for a day. I need to go to a doctor. Something's wrong with my guts. Like literally everything I eat, I'm like, oh, that makes me sick for a day.
Well, at least you already talked like about
except for Pop-Tarts.
You put it out there in the universe, so now you got to make it happen.
Yeah. But I think that covers everything chocolate. Like I love a chocolate fountain because that chocolate's usually cold. Like it's not. I should say it's not hot.
Yeah.
Like Allie, my old roommate, had a chocolate fountain at her wedding, and like dipping marshmallows and pretzels in it. It was really good because the chocolate wasn't like hot. It was like kind of room temperature. Oh. If you temper chocolate correctly, it'll stay liquid.
Well, I gotta throw another one in there. Chocolate milk.
I've never liked it.
I love it.
Hated it my whole life.
I love it.
Love hot cocoa. Hate chocolate milk.
Well, and like I still keep like in the door of the fridge at all times
Hershey syrup.
Squeezy bottle of Hershey syrup. But now I buy the special dark, which is so good. I mean, but even like regular Hershey syrup is delicious and can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But if you can get special dark, it's amazing. Basically tastes like the regular stuff. It's barely darker. I think I did an A/B comparison. I was like, well, if I can get the dark, I'll get it. But if not, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
I still do that to make chocolate milk the hard way, adding it to milk. But the Fairlife milk from
pre-made chocolate milk from the store.
It is like a smooth, or it's like a milkshake or like melted ice cream. It is so good.
Well, it's because they add sweeteners to it,
right? Yeah, like they literally
oh, hi, Ruby.
Ruby approves. I do think it's one of those where like they literally take milk, break it down into its parts, and then rebuild it at a weird new percentage, and they add additional like 0-calorie sweeteners to it. It's so good.
Yeah, all Fairlife milk has Splenda in it.
Yeah,
I think it's Splenda.
But like I'm a chocolate milk guy.
Well, and then Lactaid makes a chocolate milk too, but it's hard to find.
It is hard to find, and it's not as good. It's not as sweet.
It doesn't have the fake sugars in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've hated chocolate milk my whole life. Even as a kid, like I was never one of those kids going to the cafeteria and being like, chocolate milk with my pizza. No. But regular milk with pizza, yes.
Well, and I remember being like legitimately upset when I moved from Las Vegas to Palmdale that the elementary schools I went to did not have chocolate milk, but the ones in Vegas did. That's and then crazy. Eventually, though, then we did get it, though, and it was like Christmas.
But I will do... and it kind of falls in line with hot cocoa. I will do for Christmas a Starbucks peppermint mocha. I have to, like, that is the beginning of Christmas season is when Starbucks launches their peppermint mochas, and that is how I know it's Christmas time. So I let Starbucks tell me when it's Christmas time, which hopefully it'll be right after Halloween. Probably like the day of the election is when they'll launch peppermint mochas. But yeah, I
mean, if you're not going to have a stuffing flavored drink for Thanksgiving, I guess it's okay to bring out the peppermint early.
Okay, yeah.
I'll allow it.
What Thanksgiving erasure are you worried about?
No, but I'm just a fan of letting each holiday have its time. That's why, like, I don't need to see Christmas stuff because Halloween hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Like, keep that stuff away. You can literally put Christmas stuff up on November 1st. I'm okay with it sharing the spotlight with Thanksgiving. They kind of go together to me.
Yeah. Well, get ready because we're going ham for Christmas this year. We're getting the fancy tree.
Oh yeah, we're doing a tree again.
No, not a real tree. We're getting the fancy one from Costco.
Oh.
The like $300 one. Oh. It's time to invest. Like the Christmas tree we have, we're so off topic and tangent-y. I don't even care. The Christmas tree,
on the topic of chocolate,
we have a 15-year-old, 4-foot tall, just spindly pre-lit tree from Target that we inherited from our friend Satine, who will probably be on the pod, speaking of, when I'm there next week.
Hopefully.
But anyway, Satine gave us this tiny reusable tree, and it has just been our Christmas tree for so long now. It's so small. I have so many ornaments that I want to display, but it only holds like 30% of the ornaments that I own.
We literally have to put it on a Rubbermaid bin, or
we have to put it on a pedestal
tall enough to be seen in a window. It's very cute.
Yeah, and like it's pre-lit, but only half the lights work. So then I had to add extra lights to it. So it's very cluttered with lights.
She's tired.
But like, I want that remote control LED Christmas tree from Costco, the 7-footer, not the 9-footer. They have the 9-footers right now.
That's too tall.
Yeah. It's also $600. We need a 7-footer, and I want to be able to switch between white lights and colored lights. Like, I want the whole shebang. It's time. Cause I want to display all of our ornaments. I want to go ham on Christmas, because I'm hoping it'll be a very pleasant, joyful time of year this year. Who knows? We could be disappointed, but either way, I need to go ham on Christmas to make
burying our sorrows in decor.
Exactly. But yeah, did we miss any chocolates? I mean, we talked about cake last week, so we don't really need to talk about chocolate cake.
Do we need to worry about chocolate covered pretzels? Love those.
Well, yeah, we talked about the pretzel peanut butter cup.
Oh yeah,
chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah,
I love Whoppers, malt balls. I love all forms of chocolate like that. But yeah, I think we covered everything chocolate. Please scream at us if we didn't.
Well, actually, okay, I'm curious. I'm gonna put this out there because I just don't really fully know what this is called, or even like exactly how to find it. And I think we may have talked about it before. But Easter candy. Let's talk Easter candy for a second.
Okay.
Like the sort of they're like coins or like medallions in a sense. But when you open them up, they are 2 layers, where the top or the bottom layer is chocolate and the top layer is like
peanut butter
chocolate.
Yeah. It's strictly, I've only ever seen it as an Easter candy. They're just like the peanut butter chocolate coins. They're made by like,
right? Their logo has a bunny in it.
But no,
like,
it's
literally, it's like their logo starts with a bunny head.
Who makes the big sampler? Whitman?
Is it Whitman? Well, Whitman makes a sampler, but like, I don't, is it them?
But like, I think it's a company owned by them because it's kind of like Whitman chocolate. It's that like cheap, but like still expensive chocolate.
But right, that sort of peanut butter. It's almost like a fudge in a sense. In
one
that it's
side
like
is peanut butter, which is just peanut butter white chocolate.
Right. Okay.
And then the other side is milk chocolate.
I love those.
Yeah, they're delicious.
And it's funny. And I feel like I have never been able to buy them. Whenever I buy them, they're fully chocolate inside, and I'm mad.
Yeah.
And I don't want them.
We'll be on the lookout for those.
But yeah, I feel like it's one of those things of like I always end up getting like 2 of them
because they have to still
in a basket, and then I can never source them ever again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, they're like these weird like underpants gnomes that just show up, Speaking of,
hi Ruby.
Yeah,
Ruby was asleep on our feet underneath this desk the entire pod until just now, and now look at her. She's dominating. Yeah, hi Ruby.
Hi Rubes.
If you're just listening, maybe go to YouTube and check out the end of the pod and see what Ruby is just doing to Rob. She's trying to get to me. She's like, I'm very far away from you. I need to touch your face. She's just in Rob's lap, climbing over him. I think we've talked about it before, but Ruby thinks Rob is a dog and thinks I'm her dad. So she treats Rob like a dog and she treats me like her dad. But yeah, one final note. Cadbury cream eggs, I think ultimately are my favorite candy of all time.
Oh yeah, you do love it.
I don't really consider, I know they are chocolate and they're Cadbury, but like just the activity, just the existence of a Cadbury cream egg, which they do make for Halloween now. They make the green slime Cadbury cream eggs. Such a delicious treat. I love cream eggs so much. I know it's just corn syrup wrapped in chocolate, but it's so good.
And that's one where I've always had a little bit of a texture issue with that, I think. But like
a lot of people do.
But there's something very appealing about looking at them.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I love those commercials where they did the auditions for the Cadbury bunny.
With the lion and
but my favorite is
pig.
literally the bunny with the little nose thing with the buck, 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 buck,
Yeah.
buck sound. Like, there's something about a bunny nose twitch with a chicken sound that is very comforting and very funny.
Yeah. Well, and I hate seasonality of things, but I do love when it's Easter candy season and you can just get all that delicious Easter candy, which I think is the best candy time of year, better than Halloween.
It's certainly more special candy for sure.
Yeah.
But at least I like that Halloween has like the variety kind of
Fun size.
It's more of a universal celebration of candy.
Yeah. Halloween is all about the fun size. Easter is about a chocolate bunny and a box of cream eggs. And Peeps.
I just recently thought about it, and I realized that fun size candy is a way to evangelize candy in a sense. And that, like, just if you think about it, how do kids get exposed to new candy without having to buy a full bar? Like, you get to taste a fun size Mounds and realize, oh, that's not for me.
Yeah.
But who buys Mounds? People who like it. Like, and so seriously, it's that thing of like, Mounds would never really get into new mouths, I think, if it wasn't for like, you know, that adult who's like, well, I like Mounds, so I'm going to buy it, so I have extra. And then, you know, they hand it out, and then some people eat it, some people don't, some people discover it. But it's weird. It's almost like the taste test of, you know, I feel like I'm curious what the statistics are for how many people develop a taste for a new bar after Halloween.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Okay, there it is. I was like, I have literally no idea what you're talking about, but I love Mounds.
But no, it's one of those where, I just feel like you're not going to buy candy to hand out that you don't like unless you're like watching your figure and you just don't want to be tempted, I guess.
Well, the candy companies sneak them in. Whenever you get a fun size mix, there's always Mounds.
There's always a box of dots in there.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah.
Halloween's keeping dots alive.
But yeah, at least I feel like for the most part, though, a lot of times people are buying candy they like and handing that out. And so a lot of people probably get exposed to that new stuff because of that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a positive spin on it.
Right. It's interesting.
Yeah. And on that note, I think that's everything to talk about chocolate, something that I love very much. Another thing I love very much, you and Ruby. And I think we need to go walk this dog because she's very restless.
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Say goodbye to Rob. He'll be back in a couple weeks.
And Ruby.
Ruby.
I think she had to show up because she was like, this is the last one I'll be in for a minute.
Yeah. We'll talk to you guys on the next one when I'll have fabulous guests. I'm very excited. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one. All right. We love you. Goodbye.